It's a misty morning in the top end. As I head towards the rising sun, I wonder what the day has in store for me. I'm heading to a place that's rich in wildlife, but it's also a place that changes dramatically with the seasons. I'm on my way to Mary River. It is spring and the water from the last wet season are running out to the wetlands and into the Timor Sea. You'd be forgiven for thinking that wildlife would be difficult to find at this time of the year, but nothing could be further from the truth. Before I meet with the local mob, I'm taking to the skies with Sean, a pilot who flies regularly over this spectacular part of the country.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Annie. Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to see you too, mate.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Oh, well, we've got our helicopter here. Thought we might take you for a fly and show you the wetlands. Hopefully we'll go and spot some buffalo and see what wildlife's out there.
All right, my turn to fly it.
OK, I'll give you the flight manual. So this is the Mary River directly below us. So from here, it's roughly 50 miles.
Is there many crocs around here?
Well, put it this way, we have the Mary River here, and just a little bit further over to the west is the Adelaide River. And if you combine those two river systems together, it has the highest concentration of saltwater crocodiles anywhere in the world. So the amount of bird life around here is just phenomenal. It is one of the largest bird migratory areas in the world. So all this area in here, we're now starting to come into the Mary River floodplain. So in wet season, when we have a monsoon, most of this will go underwater. I think there might be some buffalo over in this waterhole.
Oh, yeah.
They are quite dangerous. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with one if you're on the ground.
That's just amazing, that is. Look at the colours. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Whoops, look at down there, mate. Look down there. They are everywhere. Look at the movement there. There's about 2 or 3 dozen. Fish going in all directions. Wow.
There are so many snapping handbags down there. Whatever you do, Sean, don't run out of petrol.
So this is Sampan Creek.
Did you bring a rod with you?
No. Should have, eh?
No rods, no worries. I'm just happy to set foot on this little patch of beach that few ever get to visit.
Oh, this is nice, Sean. This is very nice.
Beautiful, isn't it?
So this is the mouth of the Mary River.
That's correct, yeah. Sampan Creek. It's quite a popular fishing location for locals and tourists that come here because the marine life is just so vast and varied. Like sometimes you even have sharks coming right up to the bank.
I'm just looking at these fellas here.
Yeah. So you can get the shovel-nosed shark.
There's one right there.
Yep, right on cue.
What are that on the edge there? Is it like crustaceans on the edge or something?
Yeah, so you get pop-eyed mullet as well. They're little mullet that swim on the surface with their head out of the water. Also, you get crabs.
There's a little school of them in there as well.
Yep, but that just goes to show you how good the area is, though. People are prepared to put in the effort to come out here because it's virtually untouched.
I'm glad you didn't bring a rod because the fish are coming here to say hello.
Well, you got to pull them in quick before the sharks get them, see, and the crocodiles.
And I'd rather the sharks than the crocs.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Sean Wild, and where I grew up was in Weipa, far north Queensland, little mining town. List of some of the things that I've done throughout my life is, I worked in a souvenir shop at the Cairns International Airport, so I got to learn Japanese, how to speak it and to write it. Then I worked in a small engines repair shop fixing mowers and whippersnippers. And then I got an apprenticeship as a reprographics engineer, fixing photocopiers and faxes. And then from there I went into horse training,
then went into Queensland Fire and Rescue as an auxiliary firefighter in Cooktown, and then went into mining. I felt if you always wanted to have work, you had to be adaptable. Whatever was going at the time, if I could physically and mentally do it, I'd give it a go, just to be able to get work. But in the meantime, if I found something that I really enjoyed or that I wanted to do, then I'd try and get into that as well.
So you've been a pilot for how long now?
About 3 years.
When you were starting to get your hours up, did you envisage anything as glamorous as this?
Oh, no. No way in the world. The main thing that was going through my head was, how am I going to get work in the industry? Coming into an industry with a bit of age about me, I thought that was going to be a downfall. When in actual fact it worked in my advantage because I had all these other skills and attributes that I could bring to my employer.
Your office changes every day.
Yeah, you never go to work thinking, oh, here we go again, another day, because what we do, whether we go out, take people heli fishing or sightseeing, what we actually see on that day is as much a surprise to us as them.
Where from here?
That's a really good question. There's so many opportunities here in the Territory, and it's such a great place to live. I didn't initially come here to think, well, I'm going to spend the next 20 years here, but potentially that might happen. Yeah.
Well, I had a good day.
I had a great day.
Made even better day by meeting you.
Likewise. There was an old guy I used to work for when I was learning horse training. He was in World War II, believe it or not. That's how old he was. He said to me one day, Sean, you can learn something off everyone. You can even learn something off the biggest idiot. That's always stuck in my head, and I've used that as a motto. Never to scoff anyone, or, I think if you can learn from someone else's mistakes, you tend to make not as many yourself. Well, that's the general aim anyway.
It's day 2 on my visit to Mary River, and I've driven about an hour to meet up with Graham, who is a young leader and one of the traditional carers for this country. We're meeting up at a special place just off the highway.
Hey, brother, how you going?
Hold on.
Good to see you. Hey,
Yeah.
this is deadly.
Yeah, this is my front yard.
Front yard?
Yeah, front yard.
Lots of birds out there. Let's go and have a look.
Yeah.
It's a big mob, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a lot of goose out there.
Graham and his family are based here at Purukal. They are the keepers of the creation story for this region.
All right, Ernie, what are we going to do here? For you being here the first time, I'm going to put some water on you, but then also before that, I'm going to tell you a bit of story about this place. Now, this place here is actually called Larui, or Parakal, but Larui is actually a turtle stories of ours, the ancestor story. So the turtle story actually came from the eastern side of Mary River, that direction. Now, when she came across, she emerged at a place called Windows in a wetland. The actual turtle came up and created a hill, making a very significant site. Then the turtle decided to come this direction. When she came here, she created this billabong. After creating the billabong here, what we call Litbull, or Parakal, then the story she got up, she actually went down that direction, but we've got a rainforest there we call Daminmin. Now, Daminmin means turtle place. There's fresh water bubbling out of the ground. So this place here is known as turtle country. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a bit of water on your head, and I'll say kulkul. Kulkul is welcome your country. Kulkul. All good?
Ma.
Ma.
Safe now?
All safe.
So they migratory birds.
Yeah.
That's a big mob.
It's just that time now, season, most of the billabongs are drying up and that, but then there's a bit of water here always, so they come in here for the water and stuff.
Would they normally come in this numbers?
Nah, they sort of move on roughly about February to March, and then they move on to the floodplains.
As part of their migratory thing, how far do they go?
Some believe they go over Papua New Guinea and that, and then on the east coast down Queensland and as well they got here. And then after that they come back just after about April and that.
So you got magpie geeses, a couple of varieties of ducks.
Yeah.
Storks,
and
egrets,
Egret.
cranes,
yeah,
jabiru, swift, godwits,
yeah. I think there's even some pigeons out there as well.
Torres Strait pigeons.
Yeah.
You got crocodiles in there?
We've got crocodile. We've got two. There's a big fella there, roughly about 4.5, and also a 2.5 metre freshie. So they're somewhere in the middle there. You don't see it much.
4.5. That's twice as tall as me.
Okay, we're just going to do a little walk through, a little bush tucker walk here. Most of the trees now is not fruiting in it, but during the, like after wet, April, May, you got a lot of fruits all through here.
It's like your veggie patch.
Yeah. Just a little black little supermarket, you know, bush supermarket. Yeah. Okay, just going to talk about this tree here. This is a very interesting one. They call it we'll call it milkwood, but then also as well, some people call it cork tree.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I was going to say.
yeah.
It's called cork tree.
The sap of this tree here, what we use it for is actually to combine that paint. So when you see the rock arts on the actual wall in there, it's actually the sap of this tree as a glue. The actual bark here, what we use as well, if you're walking around, you're falling down, cut yourself in the leg, you got no first aid kit, but worry about infection, burn that bark. And when it cooled down, get the ash and put it straight on your wound. Stop the infection. Good
There
medicine
you
as
go.
well. Yeah, very handy tree.
Pharmacy.
When people come here, they want to see the landscape and they want to hear cultural stories. So what we do, we actually provide that. So by doing, welcome to country, take them on a walking track, 15, 20-minute walks and talks, it actually turned out to be sort of like a healing process. And people wanted answers, just questions. It actually opened up a lot of people's eyes and different values and views about what, about Aboriginal culture.
What now?
Just want you to hear something. There's a bit of noise in the air. You can hear.
Yeah, I can hear the wind in the leaves.
Now, you listen harder. You can hear that? You have a look this way. Sugar bag. All inside there. The trees are all inside.
Uh-huh.
You can hear them in there. They're buzzing.
You got a chainsaw?
Yeah, that's one of the best honey to have in that area. Real nice.
And good for cuts too.
Yeah. With this sugar bag, the our mob, they get out the honey, squeeze it out of the wax cavity of it, and then they chew that wax. So when they chew that wax, when it gets nice and soft, then when they're actually tying the spears, they put on an actual spear head to hold that rope together or whatever string, and also on the didgeridoo, mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece, yeah. Oh, that'd be lovely for you, eh?
Oh, really nice,
Yeah, 'cause no one been in there.
Not at all. Might have to cut it down one day, I think. When we're hungry.
Ring me. So where were you born in, Rog?
We were born at Old Darwin Hospital. We were born in the 70s. And then grew up out this way. Mum and Dad were stockmen, so we moved to different stations. I actually started playing in a band for over 19, 20 years. I was still playing today. That was something that, it was a job, as well. And I had the 2 kids at that time, so you wanted to get employment. Well, I wake up in the morning, along with the sun just dawning, had a strangest dream last night. Then I started being a park ranger back in '94, and then worked as a park ranger for 13 and a half years. With the stories that you're telling, it's just songs. The story you're telling is verbally speaking to people. And then doing tourism, it was the same thing. You're still telling the same stories. It's something that people, walk away and people sort of, the story you tell, it's cultural.
You start up a tourism business here at home. What are some of the things that you want to say to their mob when they come in?
You've got people, what they call long grass people, or people on the street. People sort of look at that, they look at Aboriginal people, you got no future. So that's another thing to actually educate everyone as well. We're not all the same. We can make it happen. And having a business, 11 years later, we're still here running it. So, we must be doing something right. That's why I wanted to start the tour, to actually get Aboriginal people, our mob, to get in, employment. And also as well to show people, how we live, our lifestyle. shining bright tonight. No one gonna change your ways.
It's my last day in the Mary River region, and it's yet another early start. So early, in fact, that I've got the entire road all to myself, and I don't mind that one little bit. As the sun pops up on the horizon, I'm reminded that it's going to be another hot day ahead. The temperatures are set to soar, so keeping cool and keeping hydrated is the order of the day. And my next host, Chase, is an airboat driver who knows that only too well.
G'day, mate.
Good morning, Ernie. My name's Chase. Welcome
Chase.
out to Wildlands and, of course, out to our beautiful Corroboree Billabong. Where you drove in today, at the start of the year, you'd be driving through heaps of water coming into here. But as you can see, it's all dry out there. I'm going to take you out on that airboat and just see what we can get through. Biggest population of naturally occurring crocs anywhere in the world is what we're going to go out and have a look for today.
Good. Let's do it.
Let's get on that boat. In my first days of working with these amazing animals, you know, it really was just getting out and observing them. But as time's gone on with this, you know, I've had the opportunity to be able to egg collect with them. I've been able to do operations on these guys and just observe them in the wild in their natural habitat. On the bank there.
Sleeping.
See if we can go back and have a look at him, eh?
He's not mussing up at all, just having a chill.
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive, though. I mean, just the speed.
Oh.
After being still for so long, it's like a coiled spring ready to...
That's exactly the best way to describe him. So if you want to have a seat down here, Ernie, we'll get going. And just keep your eye on him, because I tell you, he's probably going to show you how quick he can flick that tail and move. That's that minimum exposure, and there he goes. Just when you think you know it all, then you can still learn so much more. And it's amazing to be able to share that knowledge with our visitors here in the top end of Australia, and to open their eyes to the real understanding of country, why we burn, why there's such high extremes in our floods and in our drought times of the year, and to give those people the whole experience while they're in this type of environment.
God, he looks beautiful, doesn't he?
Second largest bird of prey in Australia, beautiful bird. And of course our bird symbol for the territory. And they're one of our mate for life birds, so they find their partner, stay with their partner for around that 15 to 20 years as long as they both survive. But they can always see their partner, so where there's one, that makes my job real easy as a guide. Look at that, off he goes, the eagle.
They're both
Yep, there they go,
together.
there they've met up now, the two of them, amazing. So Ernie, I brought you down the front here because I just wanted to show you how amazing these lilies that we've got growing around us that you can see. And of course, last year there wasn't a lily. Boom, they all came into flower this year. I like to call it the Swiss Army knife because every part of the plant has a use or a purpose. So I'll just snap this one off. Oop, just got a little bit of water in there. But if you have a little feel, feels like a soft grade of sandpaper is probably the best way to describe it. And they're all these little hairs. Tip a little bit of water in on top for me, just a little splash. You'll see that what's quite unique is that the water will just move around on top of the leaf like that and roll straight off, and where the water's been, it's dry. So it's waterproofing. So just tip it out over the side. Then, of course, you got yourself the best accessory on the billabong. And that's just a little cool hat. Give it a try. It's actually 2 to 3 degrees cooler underneath here than it is sitting there with no hat on at all.
I could feel that straight away. That's nice.
And these, so Ernie, just let me fix this. It's all about looking good. You've got to have a bit of style out here on the billabong. Nothing's wrong with the lifestyle of being in town and having all your accessories, But there's nothing better than being out in the wild. And I've still got my nails, so of course I've still got that little bit of girly going on. But to still get out there and get real into the environment, nothing beats that.
Where do you come from?
I'm born and raised, local girl. Here in Darwin, lived in Humpty Doo my whole life.
Everything you've done was basically around this part of the world.
Yeah, most of my life it's what I've done. I had some friends that had a safari camp here when I was young, about 13, and one of their workers got attacked by a crocodile, and a friend of mine saved them from that crocodile. And they both survived, but from that, you know, I really just grew a passion for crocs here in the Territory.
I heard a story about you ripping a tooth out of one of them.
Yeah. I do a bit of work with some crocs around town in the parks and farms.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a big boy in there who had a bit of a toothache, so we thought we'd go in and give him a hand one day. And, of course, we were able to pull out his nice eye tooth there. But, you know, this will give you some idea of the amount of closing pressure that's going to come down on you when you've got a massive tooth like this. Feel the weight in that. Like, it's amazing, really. It's just fascinating to work with them all the time. But they're never your friend. So at the end of the day, if I make a mistake, they will pull me undone.
Your boys, do they ever worry about you out here doing this?
Oh,
or
no.
they just give up?
No, yeah. Mum is the uncool mum, you know, that's how it rolls. So, but I've been lucky because my boys have been able to work with me and that throughout our working life, or my working life. They just love being out on the water and out in the bush. I will say that the best thing about working with my crocodiles is they taught me patience to raise 4 boys, and I'm so lucky that I have amazing husband and children that support me and surround me. When I first started in this job, it was about confronting my fears, and as a woman in a world and in a society where things can freeze you for your fear, you know, for me it is actually getting out there, facing it every day. And even though I am still fearful of these animals and the power in what they have, it's more the understanding and not letting fear control my life, and know that no matter what comes along, I can tackle the things that come along. And that's, for me, the important message that I like to pass on to the other girls and women and that come out on my tours.
It's time for me to say goodbye to Mary River. And as I take in the scenery for the last time, I would like to pay tribute to my new friends. To Sean, mate, our flight out to the mouth of the river, for me, is unforgettable. And Graham, walking on country and learning the ways of your mob was very, very special. And last but not least to you, Chase. Our time on the water was, well, let's just say, I've never laughed so much. To each one of you, it's been my absolute pleasure.
If you loved this, come back to NITV for an extended hour-long